Kay maling tutaw bekla de latta magtu commercial taksor gidra PNSB. Palaw National Scholarship Board at tilagid malami mahal tung algo stream bro open na program dol mon mila tutaw.
Takamram sulang espay de thank you Rogul Adra EPFM for allowing us this opportunity in Merel Tutaw. Wera gibo mamu rasyo we di bo kum terma man ngartyang mar other obis di bo kutar sa susyo man mar leader sergid malway say ako tegi malo dar sa susyo man mar atanga kal president tergid Mr. Surang Wips Jr. ma atanga kal vice president tergid Reynald B. Oilo amarokul member sa cabinet tergid. Tira kalma dar sa susama malmora Senate President Hokons Paules, marokul Senator Sergid, madira ka susama malmora Speaker a House, Delegate Gibson Kanay, marokul delegates. Tira ka dibo kum terma, mikudar sa susama malmora Ipadul, Maraklay, marubukul Belaw, madira kal bilung, maepiraklay, marmasil Belaw. Selma mongulubong le di kum terma malodar sa susama malmora Royal Governors, more speakers, regal 16 states na bulubelaw. Maloy se malungit tutaw, kamam sulang almo sa pitun ini orengs, o Mr. Tashor gidilal tutaw, nga kangklik Morisang Udui, akuder sil office gidilal Palau National Scholarship Office. Yak ngartyang lop titrirar for special guest gid, tirakay gidawal bol high focus tegi the short gidilal tutaw. Tira nga recipient sel award the mogadorngik mo Palau Fellowship Award. So elal sa mer mula sa beedel mula sa beeder 27 nga nakapelawal el receiver tegi the Palau Fellowship Award. And as a recipient of this award, the haratiga 13 mer belaw to real 8 weeks, al sel 8 weeks sabor the direct award tira $400 every 2 weeks. And then asum ta continuing student tabor da mutal haratiga til morgal basyo lang arangin nga school mo sabir mo malmal ma school year if the recent graduate orang madi one watiga 13 merbelaw. Tel program available sa summer, madira kal springtime. So the deadline for summer is April 1st and for spring the deadline is November 1st. Dimnigay kid baybok kuidya olki yung ulan more tir ka special guest kid follow the start tir introducer tir stang clear kangal karang state traveler belaw kanga school care and what's your major?
Okay, malungit tutaw. My name is Ungildil Bells Carino Kyota. And my family is from the states of Ngarard, Oigul, and Blilio. I go to Arizona State University, and I'm double majoring in political science and justice studies, and pursuing a certificate in legal systems and governance, on a track to be pre-law.
Ali malungit tutaw nga kangklik Chioko Polloi Acknowledgments wal mangarar ngara UH hilo der katilo dra school baba biling ngara geography my environmental studies and my coursework was focused around GIS.
Ngil tutaw yang kangklik Yolynn Higa nga kangal krairang SR mangayang nga kamnar school horror school Polloi High School elak ngara Western Oregon University major of business.
Malungit tutang kangklik Ungilrengul irong kaila Aitaro nga ngalara malgayo orior ngatpang makaralong nga kadir kamle graduate tara Western Oregon University dual degree sa nga kal Bachelor of Science in Public Policy and Administration, a concentration ng state and federal government. My Bachelor of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies, a focus areas ng communication, sustainability, and social sciences.
Alright, takamam sulang. So, ilang sib ilo ay o Isaac mo lo sib il mo gear ilang samer engara lurio na mo sib ilo karmo where are you currently working for this summer, and then what task have you been able to complete?
Okay, so I'm interning at the Office of the Attorney General here this summer, And some of the tasks that I've been able to complete have been a lot of administrative tasks, the usual intern tasks like scanning, filing, organizing. But I've also been able to do a lot of the work that I really wanted to do into legal research, things like helping drafting legal writing pieces and organizing evidence for both cases on the criminal and the civil side. So that's been very fun for me to look into both.
All right, Chioko.
So I'm currently interning at the office of Polaris, and some of the tasks that I'm doing right now is I'm helping working on some inundation maps that showcase flooding from sea level rising. I'm also kind of the communication / social media. So if you've seen our Facebook, please follow us, Office of Polaris. And I'm also helping with the street naming project. And I know we might have posted yesterday, but we've started with the first official street signage installed in Ungilrengul State. And it's going to continue on for all states that have officially completed their street names. So, please follow us on Facebook. We're working on it. Yeah.
Nga ka no intern Ministry of State under Bureau of Foreign Affairs and Trade, Supervisor Sir nga ka Director Antol Chief SC ang Udui. I was tasked to do briefings on PIF leaders and volunteering other MOJ for this upcoming forum.
Makamaktira kal intern na Ministry of State, ting korawak flex split. So my first 3 weeks ako bingela Bureau gida Domestic Affairs. Nang yate alam ko courier el mga daro there's gender policy booklet. Dira ka like we conducted interviews with stakeholders. Nang yate alam el mitra Miss Tony Swalablay, Amber Osima, tinggal betul ni kanat Silva. I think board member Sylvester Alons was aman mo like an interview sil girel sige the policy launch that happened this Tuesday. Diragal el ang akuk mlamora Bureau of Foreign Affairs and Trade dalalong asewal girel tal upcoming Pacific Islands Forum leadership meeting gidra and there el month to September 4th makukurera mer el ang akora malasamal mga dara payroll system time kla dalalong asewal capture accurate temira ada del tiramo lang asewal la protocol el conference rigi.
All right, very nice. So, what can you say has been the highlight of your internship experience so far, and what have you learned?
So my most positive experience so far was actually watching a case that I directly helped with the process go through the court system. So I felt a lot of pride watching the arraignment because I knew the work that I had contributed to the process, like helping put the case together and assisting with drafting the information and affidavit for it. So seeing something that I worked on directly like that actually go through the court system was a very rewarding experience for me.
All right.
I think my highlight is kind of just learning more about what data we have and what data we don't have, but also seeing what we can do to kind of share data to the public in a way that everyone understands. Another highlight is going out into the field and doing actual field work. We were just in Ngarar last week working for the Kiwa initiative, restoring watersheds using nature-based project. It's a big collaboration project, and I'm really looking forward to going out into the field more and getting some tan. Yeah.
Highlighted tel experience nga ka ang like kora attend the government events like Sora. It was my first time and it was really nice.
Yeah. All right.
Highlight I guess like the collaboration always from like NGOs to stakeholders state governments national and how we can contribute like what we've learned in our school and hopefully the silubas not so much improve but contribute mora talit eselurior el tira do mangilay kel belawal may la atira kalan mal highlight nga ay was fortunate enough to attend the Sustainable Ocean Policy working group meeting on behalf of my director Agiwo. So it was like really eye opening to see like our technical experts tirigel potokal rediro belao mostly MEF mga darodal girela sab akla lugel aklar gidrada mal giredal ko mange selsab eda kadamo support 30 akmal gora mal amata already ma maring already el gire la aklu gora gidel kuk marangar aroy de malat kalmut tel melo long sera balwat. So yeah, and I contributed I think it was the pillar outcome about gender equality and intergenerational equity. So kuk plus sabi kalu contribute tay gelam teera of your domestic affairs, and the fact that tamal koram le muskakate legal share ako ka feedback ma input nga kartal SOP. I think kakmal appreciate sa gidente yeah.
All right. So, Irung, you mentioned bringing your knowledge from school back to Palau. So, now when you're in school, you often just learn about concepts, theories. Would you say what you learned in school helped you throughout your internship experience?
I would say that what I learned in school definitely did. Like in my degree, I do a lot of writing, a lot of research papers, and that's basically been a lot of the work that I've been doing in the Attorney General's office. Like when I help draft INAs for certain cases, a lot of it is compiling the research that I'm doing within the case, comparing it with PNC and past court cases, and through that developing the paper and writing it myself. So I believe my coursework is really connected to the work that I've been doing.
All right.
Yeah, me too. I think my professors really prepared me. The most important thing it helped me with was really prepping field notes. It's really good to have a detailed description, where you are, what the weather is, because that can really affect, the data you're collecting and the work that you're doing. So yeah, shout out Professor Pro if you're watching this. Yeah.
Like at school, I learned about research and organizing information ng rang serak me bo gimarutel briefings manos lo spreading research I get it leaders put it into a PDF file.
All right.
Yeah, I would say nakakonatibal different because I used to work here. Makapila ora ako state government, so shout out mo tigil ada ko state til gimdala kalorior. And so kasara ka ako state ting tinakal mo nga yung school so like we always want change overnight, right? But like going to school, pursue a public policy, it really taught me that like you really have to gather accurate information to support your arguments. And like if you want a solution, you have to gather the necessary information that can be fact checked to support your position. So maral ko ram help and shout out to my public policy professors, Dr. Pettinger, Forbes, Ma Dickinson, Ma Carrillo. Tinagal professors I still keep tabs with them. I text them every day. Still but I understand that like right now I take pictures. I ask them because one ring kita adaptra system or adra marigel. So part of it is like no subi democracy ra marigel. Yeah, the friends gida nga niya syuka nga so at the end of the day I'm trying to be that bridge of like syuka nga gid ma democracy because how can we make them coexist without Morning niya ako nakakauto ka na, tool ka sa system sila kita, Lexis travel water ilang. So yeah, school really helped me understand the technical side of democracy. El ko suka kal mamadu navigate, tingin ako to correctly bela masuka nga nagit. So yeah, it really did help me a lot.
Very nice. And now we go on to questions about school. So can you remind us where you're going to school or what's the, where you're attending school, and then why you chose to attend that university, and also what's your current major and why you chose that major.
Okay, so I'm going to Arizona State University, and the reason why I chose to go there is because I was looking around for options where I had family close by, because I know for a lot of us, we're very close to our family, so that really makes the difference, having that support close by, but also while going to school. That could really help with that balance. And then I originally went to Arizona State because I wanted to do environmental engineering. Yes, yeah. But as I went through the engineering coursework, I realized that I actually wasn't more into the engineering side as much as I was into the policy side and kind of the research that went into that. And so that's why I switched my track to being pre-law and political science. And I've been very happy with the work and the coursework that I've been doing with that so far.
Good.
Nice. So I graduated from UH Hilo. I originally didn't go to UH Hilo at first. I actually went to a smaller school in Washington State. It's called St. Martin's University. Shout out SMU. I started with kind of like a biology track. I knew I didn't want to do specifically like land or marine science, but I knew I wanted to do something, or I want to be in a career that could help both without one taking over the other. And I wasn't a really good fit at SMU. It's Washington State. A lot of people know that's the Evergreen State. It's Pacific Northwest. It's cold. It's kind of harsh rain, and I didn't really like the winters. So I ended up transferring out to UH Hilo. Chose UH Hilo because all of my dad's brothers went there, except for my dad, but go Vulcans. And I ended up really liking this GIS course. I ended up switching to a geography and environmental studies track. And I kind of focused on GIS as well as sustainability issues, and that's what I graduated with. So yeah, shout out Hilo and shout out to my Hilo people.
Nice.
I went to Western Oregon University. I chose that school in Lake Medra where I lived, and I had families there. Morisang. Ako na major IT, malukon na ring la life ra oriore IT, networking, coding, ora chancel mo business, lang plan el mobile may start a business nga. Yeah.
Like I just want to shout out like how we originally had a plan what we thought we wanted, but then the fact that we pivoted and we pursued and like push through complete, like so shout out to you guys. Just like you guys for school black Mori knows. Shout out PNSB, they know me too well. Yochi, Mora Park, they didn't work for me. Like, that's to say, like, my dad is in the political arena. I wanted to pursue political science. They didn't work for me. I got bored because I just wasn't interested. Finally, Florida State, and let's face it, like, school and then we can actually make change whether we like it or not. It's kind of like an unspoken thing that like educational background will support so while I state like I had a family in Oregon as well that were kind of pushing me let's say like you need to get out school, like it's not the end of the world, like so I went to Western Oregon without knowing anybody. And shout out to Western Oregon because they had a family housing. I was able to move me and my partner to Monmouth, Oregon, where no Palauans exist there. Kaya family housing, shout out to Western. They gave me a job there. So, Kera family housing, RA, Ora campus. And I guess sige that school ako in because of my professors ako started so political science and my professor Dr. Forbes specializes in hydrofracture which and like energy. So he kind of spearheaded me to pursue public policy but with like an open-ended option. So let's say like your country focuses on climate change and environment, but then energy is also considering. So that's why sustainability, some environmental science classes, just so that I can get introduced to those ideas because every day we kind of face those kind of issues and I just wanted to have that kind of like experience and background when contribute public policies and the ones that they created long ago that haven't been revisited. I hope that like with our experience and may revisit so Dorulab es a lot of ekata mang angaring igel kuk tirga exist el mlamo let's say 10 years so edel revisit te was like ngara kuk tigel atter el altam el sub edel kuk tigel the super kel bela me say like maybe let's explore these kind of options and see if these work mun sub edel kuk improve igal policies series because at the end of the day what the policies are meant to protect and support the people and del balwa del gidakiral so yeah.
Very nice. Okay, now can you guys share what has been the most challenging experience in college and follow that up with the most positive experience in college?
Okay, I feel like we might have similar answers on this just from what I thought of as my most challenging. But for me, it was that pivot. It was, realizing that the field that I chose at first was not right for me, and then having to pivot and figure out what did feel right to me without kind of knowing how it was before getting into it. So I was lucky enough that first pivot was exactly right for me. Of course, that doesn't always happen, but undergrad especially is really the time to be doing those kinds of things. So even though it was a challenging time, I'm still grateful that I was able to recognize it at that time and make that change. Even though it was tough at the time, I'm so much happier now after making that change. And then the most positive experience has been at the same time making that pivot and all of the experiences and the classes that I've had since then. Through that, I've been able to do internships, other professional experiences that are in the same field. Because I loved it so much, I was able to really pour my heart into that work and reap the benefits of that. So
Right.
it was really both at the same time.
Yeah, so I think the most challenging thing is for me is I used the word the free will a little too much in college. Because I wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to class today, so don't. And that was my biggest challenge, is just reminding myself that I need to go to class, I need to stay locked in, and I can't get distracted. Like I watch, I binge watch a lot of shows, and I know we all do, especially in college. You just have so much time, and I'm like, and now I go to sleep and I'm like, oh, one more episode. The next thing you know, it's 5 a.m. and I have to go to class at 8 a.m. and yeah, it's tough. But that was the most challenging thing. But the most positive thing is that I was able to get from college is learning and looking back from my mistakes and trying to see, like, how can I move forward? But also it's just meeting new people who can help you, people who will call you and be like, hey, you need to study for this test. Like, we need to lock in. Like, let's go study. Let's go to the library. And it's meeting people like that and having such a big network now. And now, like, I have FaceTime calls. I'm FaceTiming my friends in the States. I'm like, hey, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing today? So it was just, making all those connections was really the best part. Yeah.
Really challenging nga ka, like having to be so far from home or adrabli the kunis nga ramral suwa. But the positive thing I got that they del no sabi ka business I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I guess one of the most challenging is I haven't been in college for like a decade, so it was hard to adjust because I was used to writing on a notebook for notes, but during like group work, Sangita, the los Google Docs, like I had to, catch up and like instead of like forcing what I knew, I guess what I got from that, masubul adap del morab is bashoy like ngotel mle tigaling akamal hard headed al so I'll insist my way until the end of it. Bulldoze, I will do that. That was me then. But sa school, like, you know what? Ngakawan, itirat 20 lang school, and they are all doing this. I have to learn and chance. That's the only way so make the most of my time in school. And also challenging most of my classmates and even my professors thought I was like 20, 22. So like it was the age barrier that kind of like was really hard on me. Like I said, like, man, a lot of my classmates have graduated. But then I met like one of because I used to be a student senator from the school I went to. El 70 rigil. Like musakpay na order momrek el akmalara school. And I'm like, okay. Like there's really no set timeline like school. So I think I was my biggest critic, and that was my biggest challenge. And because of that, like I had to learn how to navigate the mamadual balance sa emotions. Like if it's really necessary to be so hard on myself, like you, like sometimes like we don't realize it, but the reason why we binge watch is because how do we manage all of these things that we gotta do? Like or level do we gotta do a discussion post, a quiz, a project, you gotta hop in a Zoom. Oh my gosh, so many things. Aldirula, like nakam notice na compartmentalize is start the binge watch because it makes you feel better and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna watch this. Pag isa
Yep.
tara 6 sa kruli ako era class at 8, which a lot of times 1 out of 10 we do it. But yeah, I guess ang igigida ako rawal bel challenge na highlight na ka actually learning to speak up when I'm drowning. So like, you know, when like our professors are like, you know, you can always make use of my office hours, and we're all like, "Tasoal mo, masarap mga." But then I was like, tira, otherwise, they've been in our shoes. Tira lang, pursue undergrad, they're didn't. So they understand the pressures of suadal milil, suadal magarang, and like still have to do our assignments. I speak about this because I took a philosophy of mind class. Oh my gosh. I thought it was the easiest class because it was like, study of the
Philosophy.
mind. Who would have thought? It's the worst class. I've never taken a psychology class. It was the hardest for me. The professor like, if you continue to come see me during my visiting my office hours, like I've never gotten a D in my life. Transcript like, how do I make this work? Like at least give me a C because like I'm really failing your quizzes. And was as long as like you come to class, participate during discussions, and I appreciate the o I say like you're struggling at just like I got subalevel mo sa BML easily like just because like I openly said I've never taken a psychology class. I took this because I need an upper division class and it did not have a prerequisite, and I thought it was just the study of the mind. So I was like, who doesn't know about the study of the mind? So I kind of took a leap and I took that class, but because of that class, you know, it's okay to tell people that you don't understand. Like sometimes and like they're too familiar with this taltoy. Mandakalol asars ng nga niya raadan dakalo dengay. Esala ka to they can never kukora pause kora obul te reflect. Okay, I need to adjust it to where like my students will easily understand it. So after that, he became my IDS advisor. That's why I'm loading the degree because he helped me navigate my classes. But I'll graduate and make the most of like the credits that nga kangilay. Yeah.
All right, very nice. Okay, so so school is expensive. Can you guys share, if it's okay? Can you guys share if what are other ways that you were able to make money during school to help you support you throughout your college experience?
So, for me, I was very lucky that I had a lot of support from my family, but I also had a combination of FAFSA grants, scholarships, other, you have to take advantage of all of those smaller scholarships because they really can add up and really make a difference. I know I had a teacher in high school who kind of explained it in this way. If you do maybe 2 hours of work applying for scholarships and you even get one that's $500 or $1,000 from that 2 hours, you just made, if it's 1,000 in 2 hours, $500 per hour on that work. So that really motivated me to be applying, always looking. Use Google, it's there. So
That's how you
scholarships.
found out about the PFA.
Yes, that's how I found out about PFA. And scholarships, and then also any part-time work that I could really get out there. I've worked at Build-A-Bear, Urban Outfitters, programs with stipends, similar to this one. There's always something that you can find, something out there.
Yeah.
You just got to put yourself out there.
Yes. Definitely. Yeah, you definitely want to put yourself out there. My support was really PNSB. Thank you, PNSB. I'm sorry if I submitted my papers late, but I was also supported by the UH Foundation. So I actually also worked with UH Hilo's financial aid office. So if you haven't done your FAFSA, this is now your sign to do your FAFSA. And through the financial aid office, I was also able to find, all these smaller scholarships. And really, like, if your departments have scholarships, like, everyone has a scholarship. And so I was able to also be supported through some scholarships through the UH Foundation. And I was also fortunate enough to receive also from Yiwal State, Yiwal State, my APIA scholarship. And that's a really big scholarship for Palauans and any Pacific Islanders. So I also encourage, if you're going to college, definitely apply for those.
I had PNSB, FAFSA, Akmle Orior. At one point, Akmle Orior, Marula RV, and it really wasn't for me. And I liked it. And yeah.
All right.
As I mentioned, that forum, like, product tara scholarship now loan our mom and dad. So shout out to mom and dad and my siblings for sacrificing for me. And the regal PNSB, I've been like battling with PNSB. And Mori knows a lot. Like maral di message email because like maral maring lara la school. So like kada maral no sigaro teal. So yeah, PNSB, shout out to you and the board. Thank you for not giving up on me, even though it took me a decade. And also so order schools because like and I didn't know anybody, and I was like, I really have to put myself out there. Like, because if acting Arablig, ang mamaring ngara school. So I really applied random jobs, and I ended up working at our IT department. It was totally different. First week, I had to, what's that? Re-image computers, and I broke one. Like, even though I'm like, it's a MacBook Pro. I was so scared. First the paycheck, it's gonna minus my paycheck. But shout out to my boss John Dimla. And then like I said, I put myself out there. Kasi like I could be like your front desk, like do clerical work. So because of that, I built my relationships with my professors because everybody needs IT help.
I see.
So that's how Akmilti Director of Financial Aid, and then I sat down with them, and then small detail scholarship for me because I was like, I can get like grants and like scholarships from back home, but I need you guys to do this. And I had to explain it to them to understand most of it in lolong mom, because if they're unfamiliar with the forming, they're not gonna entertain us. So I have to really built that relationship. I was like, Director, remember it's me. You called like 2 days ago. I had one of our techs run over and help you guys with your conference, blah, blah, blah. Because, you have to make use of the relationships you build. So because of that, Takmar, like, thankful, IT department, I made friends with some student workers as well. Navigate services like out there at school. So I applied for the SEP. It's a student enrichment program after Upward Bound. And so because of that, they paid for like 3 or 4 of my classes. Yeah, so it helped me a lot from that. And then ngal resident manager at housing ma'am. I'm good friends with his wife. They was like, "Pakam tral mo RA." I was like, "RA, free housing? Why not?" The only thing I have to do is inspect people's house and so like comments on how do they set up their house, get to meet new people, our friend and neighbors, because I've lived there for a year and I have no friends at all. So I was like, I need to put myself out there. So I involved and then like Mara UN. So I represented the school. They give us some stipends, so school, and then really like learn like a more like global regional work, like to simulate like the UN, how we negotiate. That really helped me put myself out there. Tapin scholarships sa United Nations, and so and then the state grants sa Oregon make use of like the financial aid, because I'm not sure if like all the universities do it, but financial aid compounds all the scholarships we are like eligible for to apply. And so like I really made use of that. I applied to a couple of them, and like you said, every little bit, 500, 200, like it really adds up. So take advantage of like every opportunity and like never like shy away from like if let's say 10 requirements and you don't qualify at 2, make sure like you make like your resume very intentional and very like I guess attractive for them to like reconsider you and like schedule a meeting to learn more about yourself. Like every experience like sige dal mom das sing now to tele like put it there, put it in the resume. Make sure you highlight every wins that you've done and the experiences you've made. Make sure it's out there and it represents you mong rogoy potential employers tirigel adra scholarship mamadang alakaw like get the other way I say like we tend to kind of undersell ourselves and like I know like we're worth more than that, so like yeah, make sure to put everything there. It's better to have more there than have none or less. So yeah.
Okay, malungil. Nakadukor umusang madadal time. Can you share what your plans for the future after college or now that TM graduate? What's your plans moving forward? Yeah.
So my plans moving forward are just to go straight into law school. Since I'm able to, I'm gonna try to write it out. So going straight into law school, that's another 3 years, and then after that, I'm really exploring the idea of moving back to Palau. For context, I was born here, grew up in Guam, so I really didn't grow up here, but I think moving back to help, especially at being at Velao as a lawyer, we really don't have that many
yeah.
that are attorneys here. So I've really been thinking about doing that.
Malungil. Yay.
And for the foreseeable future, I am moving back home, or I have moved back. So I'll be here for a couple of years, and maybe my master's. Yes, hopefully, just later down the line.
Akram da sa mamlara MBR nga. But if I don't, yak mo man marbelo work for my beautiful island of Palau.
Yay.
Just like Ungildil, like because of like my experience here and like most of my research and my projects la school kadala that are sensirangat mo say like you are trying to teach me the necessary skills that I can bring back home and help pra community lang ako. So a lot of my research dim like climate change and the environment, but mostly sa policy area because I'm like very like nitpicky towards those mga lang different but marigel, and I wanted to be that person and get the other bela mamadul understand the law my regulations my policies. And so like my plan for the future, hopefully as a get admitted to grad school at University of Oregon Eugene to pursue environment and natural resources law because it also covers ocean and coastal climate change and what's the third one? Yeah, natural resources and environment. Yeah. So yeah, focus of other belawals lalo nga sera tora consulting because we understand if anything kita lang ako belaw ako to understand that what after adrang talbalo. So yeah, that's really like where I got my inspiration and pursue our grads. And also like if we do it, graduate law school, so if not, we can be consultants or like you have that kind of like options like practice law or the mga government mo consultants. So yeah.
All right. So now can you guys share a message to any Palauan currently living in Palau that are thinking about pursuing education outside of Palau? Just any message.
Yeah, so kind of similar to what we've been saying this whole time. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. And for a lot of us, it can mean just purely moving from here to go to school. And also, exploring any opportunities that you can, cold emailing, hitting application links, applying when you don't fit maybe all of the exact requirements, really putting yourself out there and selling yourself as the most ideal applicant for the position.
Yeah, just really the same thing. My advice would be like just apply for everything. Like honestly, the worst thing people can say is no, because even if you get rejected, it's just a redirection. Everything happens for a reason. So if someone says no, someone else is gonna say yes. So.
Just go for it. Nakaman and that, but I'll go to family nga kamral. Tinupush nga. So, yeah.
All right.
I made it.
Like the sisiuma trakal baby like till apply. It's never too late. Like put school or back burner. It's never too late. Whether it's online or moving to a new place, school, like, and I know say like mom and even other interns, school, utilize us as resource. Say like, how did you get there? Like I think it starts with that. Like nga kavi mo bongar tigel rokul kudang al tri ngal karbela nga school el mige karel adel pato kala dengel gel la telet tele la scholarship apply mo school, like, so never afraid to reach out, ask for help if ngira mo help para process the application or like utilize us as resource. I'm sorry you guys, I'm selling guys out, but like gi ngaringil ko ka sa adal kay nga seul lo siga ko te alel kawas so amel moringi, like let us know. And also like dagal fail. I guess sige ako talo ko klol ko ako pakarigida selsu magada fail or ada ko tawari give en lamotiv. Sometimes like Chioko said, it's a redirection. Lauk bral dagal girem, langaringat te alel ngarsel mingir ka mo molomol mal klorongum el hopeful lo sige te alel like like we all initially was passionate about a specific field we thought we wanted, but I give not our school and I realized that that's not what we wanted. And I guess it's the pivoting because we're like, man, kita tilo with the malabaya chi mo orang clean now. Our parents, our families, like at the end of the day, it's really about you and if you actually enjoy the field that you're pursuing.
Right.
So never afraid to make that pivot. Like sometimes saying, kuk to siga ila da ngartang to siga gel te al gida da ba da ngaya gal du gida rekel bela da meng nda ba da tokal ali soy sel ngara osisi wal position, like mobile bato ka expert sel ngal karbela wal bari da gal obese, whether private or government. So yeah, always reach out, take advantage of tokal te al whether online and school or mobile maramarigel or beyond the US, like Asia. Yeah, like never be afraid. Like, moral, ako the worst, like Chioko said, is I'll answer a no. So, yeah. And then take it as a redirection and pivot from there.
Okay. Very nice. Very good advice. So that was the last question. So for now, I'm going to give you an opportunity to recognize all the people that have helped you throughout your college journey.
Yes. Well, first, I wanted to acknowledge thank you to my grandma and my mom for really pushing me to put education first. My grandma is the first one who moved to Guam for her education. And she lived with her sponsor. She did that whole thing back then. And she really was able to direct the rest of our family to always put education first. And so I've been carrying that forward. And I'm excited to bring everything that our family and me have learned back home.
Yes.
And I also wanted to thank Palau National Scholarship Board for giving me the opportunity to be here, to come back home after being away for so long, and to be able to do meaningful work while I'm here and learn a lot about the work that I can be able to do in the future.
Yes, I also want to thank my family. I've been gone for a long time. Like I went to Xavier and then I came back and then I left again. And so I'm happy to be back and to help them as well. And I want to thank them for always supporting me, always answering my questions and whatnot. And I also, since I'm from UH Hilo, I also want to recognize and shout out Director Jim Mellon. He has officially retired from UH Hilo, and I know Palauans, Micronesians, any other Pacific Islanders. He was really our director and he was our advisor, and he helped us so much with literally anything we needed. So I would also just like to recognize him and shout out Jim. Happy retirement, but also yes, thank you for all the help you've given us, me, myself, the Ngaligel Bilao Club, all the Palauans, all the Micronesians, and all the Pacific Islanders at UH Hilo.
Right.
I want to thank my mom and Miguel confirms all the pusher nga kal di malakor nga kal sisi ako mahal di malakal sabihan din makarong kami PNSB kaya masaul Adra MOS,
Uh-huh.
Tifat. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Malungin.
Diwa mige. But sa kami mga student public, my parents, especially my mom, like akmo like chen sa direction sa nga kalpatokol tam, hindi maklat ka nga school. So shout out mom, mother mak. Oh my gosh, I'm getting emotional. But shout out to my dad. Like I grew up with my lower mother liringi, so yeah. And then my siblings, like during my burnouts, muscle crash, like they're the ones I call, especially kali kanil brother ako. So shout out to my brother too. And then of course I wouldn't like have done it without part na nga kalapit like support na nga financially, emotionally, like my mental breakdowns, oh my gosh, like ako ba madaling since na nga katim na kaliga point na nga again, like I need to blow up some steam, and like he's my go-to guy. So shout out to my partner, and dira kal tokol ka sense na nga tigil nga na oreko na mablur marige, like thank you for answering my calls. Sometimes hindi ako ay salo say like I'm really going through a lot. So shout out to them, and then to the rest of my family in Arbela, thank you for not giving up on me. And lastly, PNSB, thank you for the opportunity. Oh my gosh, I'm like really overflowing with so many emotions because
okay.
more like it takes a village, you know.
Yes.
Right.
So,
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Sorry.
nice.
And then can I just add, thank you Polaris and thank you Ministry of Finance sa internship. Yes.
All right, ladies, that's all I have for you today. Kamral musulang aratemi walme makadruk mamadangal kami kam ukusada school ma internship. Dimlay kay that's all I have for you today. That's all we have for you today. Akmo malmal malmera kluru kamolas the sure el summer. That's the last group malmera kluru. Osisil time at 10 a.m. So please tune in for that. Komram sula kam na tune in or sure gidala tutaw. I hope everybody have a nice day today. And thank you, ma kluru.
Okay, seguida ulam ngalay la talkshow gidra Palau National Scholarship Board, gukmlo sabay ngaring al tutaw. Endi Ungildil nga Morisang alwasi ngaring selmo mo ngedel blayong al gukmaring nakluko kulong melodor ranga la 3 o'clock la tutaw.